Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the ninth book in the Land of Oz series by L. Frank Baum, The Scarecrow of Oz. This was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It took me a while to read it just because it was so boring and repetitive at times, just compared to other things that he's done. L. Frank Baum is a hypocrite because he writes about doing good in the world and accepting people. But as I mentioned in the last book review, he wrote 2 editorials about why the mass genocide of Native Americans was important for the survival of the new American settler. No, you can't write about love and acceptance in books if you're preaching about killing an entire race of people. That's not a thing. Anyway, this starts out with who? Trot and Captain Bill. So L. Frank Baum wrote some short stories, some other stories in regards to Trot and Captain Bill, but then he eventually brought them into his Oz canon. So Trot and Captain Bill are sucked into this, not a cyclone, but it's like a whirlpool kind of a thing in the ocean. And so they wind up in this underground cave with this bird-like creature called an orc, and they all have to figure out a way to escape the darkness of this cave. So they follow some tunnels, they light candles, the orc has a propeller tail, they fly, they go up these caverns. It turns out they're on an island with these berries that shrink people and grow people, and then they take some berries, they go to another place, they wound up in some land, Jinxland, right? I think they land up in Jinxland, which is on the outskirts of Oz. So they technically cross a desert, they cross the deadly desert to get to Oz. But then they wind up in Jinxland. And so within Jinxland, they meet this King Cruel, K-R-E-W-L, Cruel, which I thought was clever. Who's cruel, go figure. They are trying to help the princess, the rightful princess, become the queen, because the current king took the throne from her father, who took the throne from the gardener's boy's father, who's actually the rightful, who originally was the prince. Or was it the king took it from the prince, who's now the gardener's boy, whose dad took it from the princess, and the princess and the gardener's boy, who was an ex-prince, are in love, but the current king won't allow them to get married because he would then get the throne away. It's a nice little, tale as old as time within a monarchy that we've seen plenty of times. So that was fine. But they then go into the whole hypocrisy of people can die in Oz, people can't die in Oz, people need money in Oz, people don't need money in Oz. Pick a narrative and stick to it. Drives me crazy. Apparently, the gardener's boy Poe, who was a prince, his father is trapped in the bottom of a lake, but he's still alive. But he was destroyed, but he can't be destroyed. And then same thing on the other side for from Gloria, Princess Gloria. Her father is destroyed, but not destroyed. So then it's a matter of, how are we helping everybody? Are we going to rescue their parents from imminent demise, even though they can't be demised? No, we're just going to leave them as is. And we're just going to solve the problem on the surface of the world. It was so frustrating. So frustrating. Eventually, Trot, Cap, and Bill, they team up with Button Bright, who comes back into the picture. They had adventure with him outside of Oz. Button Bright, we know and love, having adventures with Polychrome and Dorothy in the Land of Oz. Nice to see him back. Still lost, still very, not that many words. He has some more vocabulary this time around, but not that many words. He's familiar with Oz. So eventually the Scarecrow... So the book is called Scarecrow of Oz, right? We don't see the Scarecrow until the last 120 pages of the book. It's 288 pages of a book, okay? That's a long time, right? That's over half the book. That's 2/3 the book. Has nothing to do with the Scarecrow. It just has to do with the adventures of Betsy Bobbin of Trot and Captain Bill and Button Bright and the Orc. And then eventually the Scarecrow comes through. And then the last quarter of the book is actually in Oz, with the Scarecrow going to help them after talking to Glinda, who has her magic record book. Ozma, Betsy, Bobbin, and Dorothy Gale are all watching the scenes play out on Ozma's magic picture frame. So, like, everyone knows what's going on, and Scarecrow is sent to go save everyone. who washed up in Jinxland, even though outsiders are not welcome in Oz, but these outsiders are proving themselves worthy by vision of Magic Picture as well as record book. So, like, it's strange. So then Scarecrow eventually helps them. The orc sends them, flies them over the mountains of Jinxland into the actual Clodling country where Glinda's castle is. They eventually get to Glinda's castle. Dorothy, Betsy, the Sawhorse are on a red wagon, take everybody to the Emerald City. Everybody has a grand old banquet, right? Everybody meets everybody. I don't understand why the Patchwork Girl of Oz, Ojo, and Unc Nunky were not in this party scene, because the Woozy was there. Eureka the Pink Kitten, who does not appear at all, aside from being mentioned once, and then in the actual book that she was introduced in, is in this. Like, I don't understand. Why are you introducing all these characters, bringing all these different plot points, this character development, or lack thereof, and then have them trickled in through a different party scene, right? You have Jack Pumpkinhead, you have Professor Wogglebug TE, HM Wogglebug TE, you have TikTok, like, you have all these other characters. You have the 9 piglets of the wizard, but, like, you then have the Woozy. The Woozy was the big focal point of the plot of book 7, the Patchwork Girl of Oz. No Patchwork, no Ojo, no Unc Nunky. You have the Shaggy Man and his brother. Literally, it says the Shaggy Man, comma, and his brother, comma. Why does he still not have a name? I don't understand. It really pisses me off that I enjoyed these books as a kid, because when I was a kid, it was fairy tale stuff and magic and woo and ah. But, like, now that I'm old and I know story, it pisses me off that this was allowed. That this was allowed. This came out in 1915. I don't understand the constant lack of consistency within introducing characters with not bringing them to fruition, with introducing characters in different book series, aka Trot and Cap'n Bill, and then bringing them into the Wizard of Oz series, the Land of Oz series. That's fine. Bring them into your other canon. That's great. But, like, I don't remember now if in book 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, because we have five left, right? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 5 more to go. Woohoo! I don't remember if Captain Bill and Trot are in the other books. I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember what happens in the other books. And I've read them so many times and I don't remember. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating that something I once loved is now so irrelevant to my cognitive development as a quote-unquote adult at the age of 32, because it's just, the story just does not work. It doesn't work. Because now we have 4 girls in the palace, right? You got Ozma, you got Dorothy, you got Betsy, you got Trot. There was such a point where Ozma was like, absolutely no one is allowed in this country. And then she's just opening the door for everyone. There was a whole debate of whether Shaggy Man's brother was allowed to be in the country. Did he prove himself worthy of being in the Land of Oz? And then by all of them just watching the magic picture, and Trot and Cap'n Bill are on an adventure with Button Bright, yeah, sure, they look good. They can stay in Oz. Pick a narrative. Stick with it. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of multiverse overlays, literal string theory of Oz in one cognitive book series. No. If you want to stick with the death narrative, give me one linear string theory of that. If you want to stick with the alive theory of Oz, give me that linear string theory. There's just too many overlays within the string theory of the Land of Oz. It's driving me nuts. I can't stand it. I'm not reading these books again. I got 5 more to go. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.